Hello, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. Well, I thought that everything was explained well as far as the salt goes and seawater, but same questions keep popping up from different people, and I feel it's good to make another attempt to clarify some things. This way, now we are going to talk about seawater strictly, or basically focus on the seawater. A lot of people, well, we are being told that during our brainwashing indoctrination through schools, we have been told never ever drink seawater. It's going to kill you quickly. You're going to get mad. Well, explanation goes through physics. Osmotic pump, how does it work? If you have two liquids with different densities separated by semi-permeable membrane, then the less dense liquid is going to be absorbed into the liquid of higher density until they equalize. And this is called osmosis. Now the thing is, this is true. So we have the smart, indoctrinated people that say, okay, so blood basically has about, I don't know, 9 grams of salt per liter, seawater about 35. So seawater is much denser. And this is why when you are immersed in seawater, then your body will be losing liquid. It will be drained of liquid. Well, number one, blood does not contain only minerals. It contains many other particles, blood cells, proteins, even sugar. So it's loaded with stuff. So it is denser than a seawater. But even if we just focus, because what happens is when body is immersed in a seawater, the skin is the barrier, and closer to the surface of the skin you go, the blood vessels are thinner and thinner, and then they turn into capillaries, which means that what comes to the upper layers of the skin is only lymph. We call it plasma, actually. If you scratch your skin lightly, it is not going to bleed, but yellowish liquid comes out, sticky liquid. Well, this is plasma. But you notice how sticky it is, because it's much denser than any water. It's a dense plasma, because there's many things in it, not only minerals. But we are going to notice, let's say, skin, after we are immersed in seawater or in fresh water for a while, we notice that the skin gets like wrinkled. It looks dehydrated. This is appearance of the skin. But at the other side, what do we notice? That we urinate more. Doesn't matter if you are in a seawater or if you are in a fresh water. If you are submerged in the water, maybe it will take 15, 20 minutes, and then you start urinating because you have a surplus. And body is eliminating the surplus, being it water or being it minerals. But whatever body wants to eliminate, being it surplus or toxin, it cannot eliminate it without losing plasma, because this is where the stuff is contained. In your blood is plasma. Plasma is water with minerals and then additional elements in it. Now, salinity of the blood is always managed about 9 grams per liter of blood, no matter how much salt you drink, or no matter if you are immersed in a seawater or you are immersed in fresh water. The level of salinity, blood salinity, remains. But what is happening? Your urine is going to taste differently. Now, we are being told in medical school, through our indoctrination, that the kidney cannot eliminate minerals, has difficulty eliminating minerals, salts. So whenever you eat salt, you are increasing the level of a salt, which then will trap more water. And this is what is creating high blood pressure and water retention, inflammation. This is nonsense. Now, nobody thinks, because if you think a little bit, you know it's nonsense. Yeah, but you cannot think and contradict anything if you want to pass exam. And to pass exam, you got to repeat the nonsense you are being told. And this becomes a scientific truth, although it's pure lie. And all our scientists lie, because correct things that can benefit the society are being always withheld and hidden. So this way we are kept stupid and easy manipulated, enslaved. So we are being told that salt cannot be expelled through kidneys easily, and this is why we should not eat it. Well, if you immerse yourself in a bathtub or in a river or lake and stay there until you feel urge urinating because you are loading, and then let's say you urinate once in the water, and the second time you come out, and as you urinate, grab some of the urine, taste it. You will see that it is not salty. Maybe very, very slightly salty, because body cannot hold all the minerals. It will lose them. But it is eliminating the surplus of the water, because it is diluting the electroconductive medium is less electroconductive if you dilute the plasma. This is why there is particular salinity that has to be maintained. Now, if you do, this is why it is normal. You see, kidneys have difficulty releasing the salt. Blood plasma has 9 grams of salt. Urine has barely any salt in it, which means kidneys are not expelling, having difficulty releasing the salt. No, they're not having difficulty. They are just reabsorbing what the body needs. And it is reabsorbing the minerals, but it cannot reabsorb all of the minerals. And it is releasing the excessive amount of water because it is diluting now the concentration. Not realizing the truth, what is happening in our body, we just blindly trust what we are being told, that our kidneys cannot do it. But then go and soak in a seawater and urinate first time in the seawater, and the second time go out, taste your urine. is extremely, it's saltier than the seawater. Why? Because it is eliminating all the surplus. And if you are eating correctly, if you are eating animal products, you are receiving enough minerals through this. So now all the salt water that you are drinking is going to be eliminated. You are eliminating the excessive amounts of salt, keeping in the body what body needs. So you are hydrating and eliminating simultaneously. Now, when you start realizing this, now, is there any truth in the saying that we cannot drink seawater because it is going to kill us? I tried it and I didn't die. I'm still here. Only I got profound diarrhea and I was sweating pretty hard, but I eliminated all the surplus of minerals. When you are taking salts with the water, you are also providing water for cleansing. So the body is not using its own reserve of plasma to eliminate surplus. It will use the plasma that is coming in the body. This is why it is completely different reaction if you provide the salt with the water or pure salt. If you take just fistful of salt and start shoving it into your mouth and take few of those, you need few, you can actually cause death. And I hear that in China this is the most common way of suicide, just with salt, eating salt. Because what happens? You provide huge amount of surplus and your body does not have enough plasma to eliminate it. So you oversaturate your blood with salt, and yeah, your body tries, you get diarrhea, you vomit, but you deplete yourself tremendously of plasma that you have, and you die. Simple as that. But as long as you are providing salt with a water, it can cleanse. It will eliminate the surplus. The urine will become saltier than the seawater because it's eliminating all the salt that came with the seawater, plus it's eliminating if there's any other excess from the food, and it's eliminating toxins and all the other stuff. But urine will be extremely salty, which shows you that kidney has absolutely no problem eliminating minerals. You also eliminate minerals through skin. My skin got white from salt when I was drinking seawater. As I was sweating it out, then as sweat dries, deposit of salt. I would scratch my hand and salt would just be falling off. Okay, so there is a difference between living organism that runs on the programs and dead organism. We all, people very often say, well, how is it with a prosciutto? You take the shoulder of a pig and you soak it in a salt. You really pack it with the salt, and then all of a sudden salt becomes wet and it's oozing out from the muscle, from the shoulder. It's oozing out liquid. Well, but don't forget that this is not anymore part of the robot with its programming. This is just piece of the robot which does not work the same as the whole body. There is no circulation going on. And yes, we are putting a lot of salt there, and it is drawing the liquid out of the muscle, even of the cells. And this is how you dehydrate it enough Then you smoke it a little bit so the flies don't go on it, so you can keep drying it on the air, and you get very hard meat, called prosciutto. Delicious. But piece of meat is not living organ of a living robot. Doesn't have circulation, doesn't have cleansing system. It needs to be hooked to the cleansing system. So you are comparing rocks and oranges, completely two different things. This is another reason why doctors are confused. Well, we are eating soup. So we are receiving water, we receive salt. How come that we do not hydrate? Why are we dehydrated? Or we are thirsty, so we drink water, and how come we don't dilute our blood? How come that you have a older individual with so-called polycythemia, very thick blood, and you give them a tea, and you give them coffee, and you give them beer, and you give them soup, and their blood doesn't hydrate? Well, it's simple. Because all these drinks actually have diuretic effect, because they carry stuff that body has to eliminate. If you provide them with a clear plasma that has nothing in it to eliminate, you get hydration. Now, if problem is salt, then how come that people, let's say, eat and they put salt in a dish on their food? How come that this is not enough now for them to hydrate? Well, because you didn't provide water at the same time. So what happens? You have a high concentration of salt now hitting the bloodstream. It goes into filtration, eliminating the surplus. It happens almost instantly, in few minutes. And we are told, don't drink water with your meal. Well, like 2 or 3 hours later. Well, 20 minutes later, you already have eliminated all the salt that came that could not be bound to water. So 1 hour later, when you drink water, well, now you don't have enough salt anymore in the body to bond to it, so now you eliminate the water and lose more minerals. You always play catch. This is why, the best thing is to take in salt with the water. Doesn't matter if you are calibrating it correctly or not, because body will do the calibration. Yes, you will hydrate faster if you are better calibrated, but doesn't matter. You are still going to be hydrating pretty damn fast and eliminating the surplus, being it water, minerals, or toxins. No problem. So, understanding the body correctly, this is the crucial thing. You can, if you don't want to put salt in the water because you don't like the taste, well, you can put it on your food, but then drink the water as you are eating. So you are constantly providing the water to hydrate you as well. Of course, usually when you do that, you are eating incorrectly. You are eating your salads, you are eating your veggies. All this is toxic garbage that our body has to acclimate to, start producing microflora to help into decomposing this. And all this microflora is not good for us. Then we are saying, no probiotics. This is not true. The only probiotic that actually can work and be to a benefit of us, that we feel actually better, is related to lactic flora. Yeah, but if you don't provide the environment, the lactic flora is going to die. It cannot survive in the wrong environment. This is why they say, okay, so yogurt is very good probiotic because it brings the flora and environment. Well, this is true. But at the same time, why don't you then cut out the garbage, stop poisoning yourself with the plants, and start eating correctly? Eat your yogurt, eat your meat, eat your eggs. Oh, it's unhealthy. We need vegetables. Why you need vegetables? To be sick. That's the only reason why you need vegetables. You cannot use their vitamins. You cannot use their proteins. You cannot use their fats. Nothing is healthy in vegetable. We are just being sold the package deal of healthy vegetables, so we get poisoned. Always keep in mind, who is creating these educational programs, which are more and more woke? Okay, my telephone started giving me problems recording, so it cut me off. Let's go back to seawater. There was a sailor or fisherman that was on a drift 40 days on his barge, and they asked him what did he drink, and he said, well, he was filtrating seawater through his shirt. So he was dipping the shirt in the water and then squeezing and drinking what was coming out. Well, you do not desalinate water through shirt. The openings are way too large. All the minerals seep through. So basically what he was doing, he was drinking smaller amounts of water, which gives body time to do the calibration, and then urinating the excessive salt out and retaining the necessary plasma in the body, and he was doing just fine. There was nothing wrong with his life, with his health, when they got him. And experiment was done with people floating. They made a group of elderly and a group of youngsters who agreed to float in the seawater for 1 week. And the elderly people actually felt much better afterwards, because as you constantly urinate and absorb plasma, you are cleansing. So the elderly, being toxic and having health issues from it, they were cleansing. And after 1 week, they felt really great. So there's no sign of any dehydration. We should learn from observation and not listen to experts, because what we are being served is a baloney. It's a bunch of bull. We should focus on what we see. How do you feel when you're on the sea? How do you feel when you go on vacation and you're swimming in seawater every day? You don't feel dehydrated, but you can say, well, but I go and I hydrate afterwards. Oh yeah, the benefit comes from actually the salty water that you are absorbing through the skin. Even though you're not drinking it, you're absorbing it through the skin. But calibration is done immediately. And your salt level remain approximately 9 grams of salt per liter of your blood, or the plasma in your blood. We should not be afraid of salt. If you eat it with your meal, you have to provide water instantly, because within 20 minutes, your body will eliminate the surplus of the salt that you took with salty meal. So when you drink water 1 hour later, you will be eliminating the surplus of water because you don't have any more minerals to hold it in. So it has to be done basically simultaneously. This is why drinking water with sea salt is the best thing to do. I received also about question about milk, and you know, how good is milk, and if we can drink milk instead of plasma. And I explained that, yeah, you can drink milk and it's going to help you, but hydration will go much slower because you have to eliminate a lot of things which are present in the milk, which is also your food. And less will be used for elimination of surplus. So you will be eliminating less of the toxins that are already in your body. And the question is about lactose. And I know what I learned when I was in medical school, that lactose is converted into fiber. And again, we see it. Why does baby that sucks on mother's milk, how come it has pasty stool? It doesn't have diarrhea. It has a pasty stool. There is some fiber coming out. Well, where the fiber comes from when baby is drinking mother's milk, it's all liquid. Well, because of lactose converts into fiber. But now when I was looking to find an article confirming this, I could not find it. It's all about, well, lactose is a disaccharide, it breaks down into glucose and galactose. Well, galactose was a name for lactose. And if it is being absorbed, it goes same like fructose, directly in the liver to being converted into fat. So yes, it can increase the blood sugar level, but it is not going to go into the cells, even when insulin is being released, because cells have nothing to do with it. They don't know what to do with this stuff. It was absorbed because the absorption is high, because we eat incorrectly, so we have higher level of gluten. Okay, so again, similar questions with the milk and milk sugar and water and salt. It's always the same bunch of questions that keep repeating themselves, because this is where we have been programmed the strongest. So we don't realize, we don't pay attention to what is happening. We regurgitate what we have been told. So it is embedded into our brain as a program. And it's not easy to pass it by. It affects our way of thinking. We have to cleanse it out. We have to cleanse the misinformation out. So understand the salt correctly. Have no fear of it. It's not liquid rock as we are being told. It is minerals that your body uses as electroconductive elements. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. God bless us all. Namaste.